A Fieldcraft Chronicles documentary guide. Picture yourself standing in a waterlogged trench somewhere in northern France. 1916. The air reeks of cordite, rotting sandbags, and human misery. Your boots are perpetually soaked, your hands numb from cold, and the distant thunder of artillery never truly stops. In this hellscape, survival depended not just on courage or training, but on the small innovations that bridge the gap between military planning and battlefield reality. While generals strategized in comfortable headquarters, it was often civilian ingenuity, mothers, scientists, factory workers, and inventors far from the front lines, that provided soldiers with the tools they desperately needed to endure another day. These weren't grand weapon systems or tactical breakthroughs. They were simple, brilliant solutions to the grinding problems of trench warfare, and many of them still shape our world today. When a shell fragment tears through flesh in the trenches, every second counts. Before the widespread availability of Kimberly-Clark's Cellucotton dressings, battlefield medics relied on cotton bandages that were both expensive and chronically insufficient. The processed wood pulp material that emerged during the war was 5 times more absorbent and cost half as much, transforming battlefield medicine in ways that saved countless lives. Red Cross nurses working in field hospitals quickly discovered another use for these remarkable pads, one that addressed a deeply personal challenge they faced while tending to wounded men in primitive conditions. This improvisation would eventually lead to the commercial product Kotex, but in the trenches it represented something more fundamental, the recognition that survival depended on addressing every aspect of human need, not just the obvious wounds of war. Marie Curie understood something that most military planners initially missed. A soldier wounded by shrapnel faced 2 enemies: the metal fragment itself and the invisible infection it carried deep into tissue. Traditional X-ray machines sat in distant hospitals, too far from the front to be useful during the critical hours when surgical intervention could prevent gangrene and death. Curie, already a Nobel laureate who had revolutionized our understanding of radioactivity, turned her brilliant mind to a practical problem. She designed compact X-ray units small enough to fit in modified vehicles, powered by dynamos connected to car engines. These petite Curies brought diagnostic imaging directly to field hospitals near the front lines, allowing surgeons to locate shrapnel and bullets with precision rather than probing blindly through damaged flesh. The hum of the generator, the eerie glow of the X-ray tube, and the ghostly images on photographic plates represented a triumph of civilian science over military carnage. Curie personally trained 150 women as radiological assistants and equipped approximately 200 stations, transforming battlefield surgery and dramatically improving survival rates for soldiers who might otherwise have died from secondary infections. In the seconds before an artillery barrage or infantry assault, timing meant everything. Officers needed to synchronize watches, check gas alarm systems, and coordinate movements across muddy, shell-torn landscapes, all while keeping both hands free for weapons, maps, or binoculars. The traditional pocket watch, elegant in civilian life, became a liability in combat. Fumbling for a watch buried beneath layers of uniform while crouched in a trench could cost precious seconds or expose a man to sniper fire. Manufacturers adapted women's wristlet watches for military use, adding protective metal grills to shield the crystal from shattering. What began as a pragmatic solution became a symbol of modern efficiency, and after the war, men who had grown accustomed to checking time with a simple glance at their wrists refused to return to pocket watches. The wristwatch had proven itself not in drawing rooms, but in the mud and blood of no man's land. The innovations born from World War I remind us that survival often depends less on grand strategies than on practical solutions to immediate problems. A nurse's improvisation, a scientist's determination, or an engineer's clever design could mean the difference between life and death for soldiers enduring unimaginable hardship. These civilian contributions, born from empathy, creativity, and sheer necessity, transformed not only warfare, but the world that followed. Today, whether you're preparing emergency supplies, learning bushcraft skills, or simply appreciating the tools we take for granted, you're benefiting from lessons learned in the trenches over a century ago. The ingenuity that helped soldiers survive gas attacks, infected wounds, and muddy hellscapes continues to inspire anyone who values preparedness, self-reliance, and the power of human adaptability. If this journey through history has sparked your curiosity or reminded you why Fieldcraft matters, subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles and share this video with fellow history enthusiasts and survival-minded individuals. Together, we keep these vital lessons alive for the next generation of prepared, resilient people ready to face whatever challenges await.